Alrighty, well, we have a fairly big announcement this week. I kind of suspected there was going to be something semi-hype dropping this week, just because this was like the last week running up to Legends Festival, and they've already exhausted the normal Zenkai, they've already done the free-to-play unit, so this was either going to be a completely dead week or something completely out of the blue, and I would definitely consider this to be something kind of out of the blue. But it definitely makes sense considering what we've been getting leading up to this point. I actually said the same exact thing last week when we got the ZENKAI Super Baby 2, but if you guys aren't convinced yet that Legends Festival is going to probably most likely be GT based, this is ultimate confirmation. I don't really know how else to spell it out. It's pretty much confirmed at this point that Legends Festival will in some way be related to GT. So we have Super Saiyan LF Yellow Super Saiyan 4 Goku's ZENKAI Awakening incoming. I think, is this now the latest character released to get a Zenkai? Because remember, this guy released right before the 3-year anniversary. This is right before Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta came out. Let me actually check, because that's interesting if that's the case. This guy is, I guess, technically a year and a half old, which is actually not that old. Who else? Is there anybody else that's even close to him in terms of timing that got a Zenkai? I don't think so. There's nobody else on here that I'm seeing yet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the latest character to get a Zenkai that released. So this could be interesting. This is honestly a character that I wanted to get a Zenkai even before he got his unique equipment. That's how underwhelming. I was gonna say that's how bad he was, but he wasn't like bad. He was extremely underwhelming when he came out. This character, I don't know if they were like hesitant to make this guy super good because of the fact that GT was getting Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta during the anniversary or what, but they significantly held back on this unit when he first released. So he has his own unique equipment already, and now he's finally getting a Zenkai Awakening. This guy potentially could be crazy powerful. I would argue that even before his Zenkai, he's still pretty solid. Like, he's not crazy good, but he's still pretty solid. So I'm very excited to see how his Zenkai is going to look here. But Legends Limited, Super Saiyan 4 Goku Zenkai Awakening is coming. Special art, so his green card, now reduces enemy ki by 70 and restores own vanishing gauge by 70% on hit. If there are 2 other tag GT battle members, Goku will be able to use the special cover change 1 extra time. Alrighty, so the first thing to talk about, I guess, is the green card. Reducing enemy ki by 70 is pretty solid because it means that you're going to force switch the character out, and then whatever new character they come in with is going to have 70 less ki to use. The only problem with that is most characters have ki on entry, and forcing a character to switch means that whoever is coming in next will trigger their ki on entry mechanic. So I don't really know if that 70 ki reduction is really going to matter that much when they're recovering a certain amount of ki on entry anyway. Most units are, at least. But the 70% vanishing gauge on hit is very nice. Obviously, I would have preferred if that was on use instead of on hit, because if it was on use instead of on hit, that means you could have, after you watch an enemy sidestep, you could use the green card for your vanish, and then very similar to Beast Gohan's full gauge blue card, or the tag Goku and Vegeta, the Goku side, his blue card as well. Like the melee based green or blue cards that restore vanish on activation are very, very strong, but on hit is still very good because in the middle of a combo you can restore your vanish with the green card. It's fine. And then if there are 2 other tag GT battle members, Goku will be able to use the special cover change one more time. So if you guys don't know, this Goku has a cover rescue ability, which is the same ability as LF Super Saiyan 3, the OG LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku. IT Goku, Instant Transmission Goku, the green Zenkai Ultimate Gohan has this, the yellow Perfect Cell has this. So it's a pretty strong ability. The only problem with this is when you have this effect where you can use it twice in a fight, I found that most often you're not really getting much use out of the second one, because most of the time, by the time you're able to use it twice, you're either, like, this character's either dead or someone else on your team is either going to be dead. And it says that you can only use it if there are 2 other GT battle members. So does that actually, that's a good question. Does that mean that the other 2 battle members have to be alive, or as long as you're running a full GT setup, even if one of their allies is dead and you have only 2 characters left, you still use this? You probably could, actually. We'll have to see how that works, but yeah, GT is still... I don't think this guy's going to come out and GT all of a sudden is going to have like this massive resurgence. I think they're still going to need some new summonable characters as well, but let's take a look at what this guy's doing right now. I think his stats should be pretty solid. I mean, even right now, the stats aren't that bad. Obviously more of a strike-based character. He's a melee-type character. All right, main ability. Draws the Ultimate Arts card, Dragon Fist of Rage. 30% HP, 40 key, 30% damage, inflicted for 15 timer counts. Honestly, this is a pretty okay main ability. I guess in terms of what I'd like to see them add to this, maybe card... he doesn't get card draw speed anywhere in his kit, so maybe... if they're not going to give him straight up card draw speed anywhere in his unique abilities, they could give it to his main ability. That's sort of the one thing I'm really looking for, is card draw speed. And then obviously the other thing is going to be special cover change nullification. Maybe they'll add the special cover change nullification to his main ability, where it's like main ability gives, I think it's what have they been doing recently? Is it 30 counts of cover change nullification? That's what like UI Goku and Blue Kaioken Goku have with their main abilities. So that would be really nice to add to this character. First unique ability, 70% damage. Every time he's faced with an enemy, he gets 30 key. 15% damage inflicted by allies, so not only himself, he's actually buffing the team as well. Applies the following effects to self every time an enemy uses Strike Blast or Special Move Arts card when this character is on the battlefield or on standby. Honestly, this is the same thing I wanted Zenkai Majin Vegeta to get. Majin Vegeta would be so much better if he gained his buffs while on standby. This Goku actually does that, so that's actually a very strong mechanic that I actually really do like about this Goku, is he gains these buffs even if he's on standby and doesn't even have to be switched into the battlefield. So he's getting 5% damage up to 50%, and then reduces damage received by 20% for up to 60% for 5 counts whenever the enemy uses a card. The only issue I really have with this Goku, like major issue I have with this Goku, is his extreme lack of damage reduction. Because this is the only reduced damage received buff he's getting, is right here. But it's dependent on the enemy doing stuff, right? Which, I mean, isn't the worst thing ever, because in order to take damage, the enemy has to do stuff, right? So, but the problem is, if you get hit by like a Beast Gohan blue card, you're just gonna die, because in that instance, you're only gonna have 20% damage reduction. In this day and age, if you only have 20% damage reduction, even with LF Zenkai defensive stats, you're not going to survive a hit from Beast Gohan. And guess how often you run into Beast Gohans? Every match. There's a Beast Gohan in every match. So what I'm really looking for, I think, even more so than offensive stuff. So the 3 things are going to be card draw speed, special cover change nullification, and then the biggest thing in my opinion is going to be some kind of reduced damage received or other defensive utility other than this, because this could be good. Something I wish they would definitely do is make this longer than 5 counts. I think making this even like 15 counts, or you know what they could even do is just make this much easier for themselves and remove the timer count restriction. Just make this stack up to 60% from 20% every time the enemy does anything. So literally the enemy uses 3 cards, this guy has 60% reduced damage received. That enough would be good enough to, I think, you know, make this guy viable defensively. So that's all they really have to do. And then I don't think you really have to worry about adding any other sort of defensive utility in this guy's kit, other than maybe some, you know, disruption abilities or something like that. So that would be something I'm looking for here. The second unique ability receives 0 damage when cover changing for the first time, activates during assists. Yeah, so we know he's getting a second one of this as long as you have a full GT team. Applies the following effects to self per defeated battle member when this character enters the battlefield. He heals by 10%. 20% damage inflicted cannot be canceled. 20% ultimate damage inflicted cannot be canceled. So he's getting, what is this, 20% HP, 40% damage, and then 40% ultimate damage permanently if he's the last man standing, which is, you know, pretty decent. But yeah, these are the current unique abilities. Honestly, I don't really expect to see many changes to these unique abilities alone, because they're already decent already. The only thing I'd like to see them change is this. Literally just remove this. Remove these 4 words And this guy's a million times better. Reduces damage received by 20% up to 60%. That's it. And then add cannot be canceled. That's it. All they got to do to this first unique ability is do that. Second unique ability, we already know this is getting a buff. And then I think other than that, I am okay with how they're gonna, you know, buff this guy up. In terms of the new unique abilities they're gonna add, again, I'm looking for card draw speed. I'm looking for cover change nullification. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this guy is so new and he already has a pretty good unique equipment. So I'm not really expecting them to give this guy massive buffs, right? I wouldn't expect him to get like a new unique ability that's like 50% damage inflicted, you know, card draw speed permanently. He's nullifying cover change for the first four entries. Like I wouldn't really expect him to get anything like crazy insane like that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull up Vegito Blue real quick. I kind of expect this Goku to get the Vegito Blue treatment, but I don't think it's going to be as severe as Vegito Blue. Because we take a look at Vegito Blue's Zenkai unique abilities, like applies the following effects to self when 2 allies are defeated, 15% health, 10% reduced damage received. Like this is actually in one of the worst unique abilities I've ever seen. Like I don't think this Goku is going to get treated like that, like Vegito Blue did. And this is also not that great, right? I don't think this Goku is going to get like those minimal buffs, but I wouldn't expect his buffs to be like insanely strong because again, he's already pretty solid. Normal strike, normal blast, special move is light speed times 10 Kamehameha. Honestly, this is one of the coolest looking blue cards in the game. Massive impact damage, applies the following effects to self upon activation. 30% of special move damage inflicted for 3 counts, cancels attribute downgrades in normal conditions, blast armor when charging forward. I don't really have an issue with this. I don't really see a need to change this at all. I think this is just fine how it is. And then we already know the green card is getting 70% to Vanish Restoration when you hit the green card. And we know it also is now reducing enemy ki by 70. Following effects occur on activation. So this basically what this is doing is 20% of damage inflicted for 15 counts, 5 to substitution count to enemy for 10 counts, minus 70 ki, restoring own Vanish Engage by 70%, switches the character out, and has blast armor. I am okay with this. I usually am not the biggest fan of green cards that force switch characters like this. Like it's not as good as like a traditional stop time that's like doing all this crazy stuff like Pan's green card or, you know, Beast Gohan or stuff like that. But if this is gonna actually restore 70% Vanish, and we'll see if they give it a restriction in terms of how many times you can use this. Like how many times are they going to make it so that you can only restore Vanish like a couple times? Like we'll see, but I'm okay with this. This is actually very similar to Ultra Broly's green card. I'm going to pull up Ultra Broly's green card real quick. His also restores Vanish Engage, I think, by 70%. Yeah, Vanish Engage by 70%, 30 ki. No, this one does no switching. Instead of this is basically the opposite of what the Super Saiyan 4 one is, because the Super Saiyan 4 one is force switching, whereas this one is no switching, right? So that's really the difference here, but it's essentially doing the same thing. You're getting 70 ki back, and it's a charging forward green card. So I think Broly's green card's pretty decent. I wouldn't like call it crazy good, but we'll see. This is Vegito Blue. Let me get rid of him. I think definitely a massive improvement over what this is right now, because as it is right now, this green card is awful. The other thing to remember too about the force switching effect on the green card is that it is going to trigger this face with the enemy. So you're going to get extra ki and an extra damage inflicted for the whole team for 15 counts. So that should be pretty decent. And then the actual ultimate, Dragon Fist of Rage, obviously massive, nullifies endurance. And then he gets stronger. The ultimate does more, I guess, does more damage the less allies that exist left. So 3 allies remaining, it's 30% ultimate damage. 2 allies remaining, it's 50% ultimate damage, and he gets 100% to enemy sustained damage cut. And then when he's the last man standing, this is 70% ultimate damage, and then minus 100% enemy sustained damage cut. This is really strong. Like they're not touching this. I guess the one thing I'd want them to do is if they were going to change this ultimate at all, for the 3 battle members remaining one, I would probably want them to add this. Just give him the 100% to enemy sustained damage cut effects, basically the penetration effect. Give it to this guy, even if he's, you know, has a full team left. because that does make a big difference. So that would be nice to see. The big thing to note about this character, though, and I've been saying this a lot for Zenkai units, is their effectiveness as bench characters. Now, I think this character is definitely, as an LF character, right? LF Zenkais historically have been very good. So I definitely expect this guy to see a ton of play when he comes out. Hopefully, it's not just the Beast Gohan show every time again. But this guy should be able to see a significant amount of play. But for the most case, when you're talking about non-LF Zenkais, they most of the time just get relegated to bench units. And the biggest sort of, I guess, turnoff in terms of Zenkai characters recently has been a lot of them have been buffing one stat in their Z ability. Whereas this Goku is actually still a crazy powerful bench character. GT, Sun Family, strike attack and defense by 37% at 14 stars. And then 18% to characters that are tagged GT and Saiyan strike attack. This guy's buffing 55% to strike attack for GT Saiyans. GT Saiyans. You think there's a lot of good GT Saiyans that are about to release? Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Every Super Saiyan 4 character is a GT Saiyan, right? I mean, Vegeta, Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. There's a lot of people saying that they think we're going to get the tag Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta for a Legends Festival. Guess what? If they're yellow, and this guy, which I think it's pretty obvious, either is going to buff yellow GT with his Zenkai ability or yellow Saiyans. It's going to be one of the two. Yellow Saiyan. Honestly, because he's a Zenkai LF character, I could probably see yellow Saiyans, but it's still going to affect them. So he's going to be giving, let's just call it 40% strike attack from his Zenkai ability. And he's also giving 55% strike attack from his Z ability. He potentially could be giving 95% strike attack to yellow GT or yellow Saiyans, depending on how they handle his Zenkai ability. So this guy's poised to be a very, very powerful Zenkai. I'm actually very excited to see how they handle this character, because this is exactly what the GT team needed, at least for a head start. And I expect to get at least one LF character during Legends Festival related to GT, which again could actually put them on the map alongside like the superhero setup, the Beast Gohan setup, to be one of the best teams in the game. So we will see how they handle this guy. Let me know down below what you guys think of LF Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 4 Goku getting a Zenkai Awakening. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one.